So today I wanted to show you one of my favorite branded builds of all time. This deck, I'm having so much fun playing it, really sparked up my love for the deck because it plays like the old days of branded. This is the 60 card deck, very similar to the build I had on my channel when I had Nicolas on from the top in the French Nationals. You can find that link in the description below to look at the full deck profile. This is not the same deck profile one-to-one, but it's very similar, really based on the work he did, and I've been just grinding with it and having so much fun. So what we're going to do in today's video is run test hands. We're going to do a few hands and show you guys the lines and the things that you can achieve with this deck. This one is hard to shuffle, by the way. 60 cards. It's really crazy. So we're going to start by doing that. Again, check out the build maybe before you watch this video just to see what we're dealing with. It's going to be in the description below. But we're going to start shuffling, and the lines that this deck can do are not necessarily a lot different than the ones your deck can do, but the end boards and the goals are definitely a little bit more, with a high ceiling. And I'm going to do another episode of the Branded Academy really soon, showing you how to pilot the deck. This is going to be test hands. This is a little bit different, but when it comes to the Branded Academy, it's going to be theory of why you do certain lines and how you navigate certain hands. So we're just going to start with our first hand. So this deck is surprisingly consistent, considering this deck has, 60 cards, but we're just going to play it out. So what we have here is Tragedy, Nadir Servant, Patchwork, and Deployment. So our goal here is to get Brand Fusion, and this is a relatively easy line. We want to not lose to Droll, but in this hand we will have to lose to Droll because we have to search the Aluber with the Tragedy. So what I would like to do here personally is start off with the Patchwork engine. The reason why I start off with this is because I want to make sure that, this is ashable. People sometimes negate this. People sometimes ash this. I want this to, if it will get hit, it's not that big of a deal. So this is why I start off with this. We're going to look for this. I love this engine so much. It's really great. So now that we've done this, we have this in hand, and now we're going to get to deployment. We're going to activate the deployment here to get ourselves Cartesia to the field. And this is how we're going to get to our Aluber and not spend our normal summon doing this. So we have Tragedy here. We're going to activate the Cartesia and fuse away with the Tragedy. Now we will get Granguignol here to the field. And we're going to get triggers on summon. Granguignol 1, Tragedy 2. You can chain block this if you're feeling like this could get interrupted. You can start with Tragedy and Granguignol. But we are going to send Ad Libitum with Granguignol. This is my favorite line with this deck. And Aluber. Okay? Now, the reason why... So you can do a few things here. You can send Albion here if you want to play a little bit more around Ash Blossom. But specifically here, I'm showing you like the high ceiling line. And this is what we use... This is what we use Granguignol for. Get Ad Libitum because it provides the best value and the best end board for this deck. So Aluber is going to summon. We're going to activate the effect here and grab ourselves. Among the 60 cards, we're going to find the Branded Fusion. We're going to activate it. We're going to be sending the Albaz and the Lubellion. They were all together. Albaz and Lubellion. Get ourselves a copy of Lubellion here. Sorry, Albion, of course. Now, we resolve this, so we're going to be activating the effect of Albion. And here, specifically, we're going to be going for... Let's see what we're going to do here. We already activated the Cartesia, so we definitely want to banish the Albaz here. This is not the Albaz. We want to banish the Albaz. And thinking on whether I banish, I think I'm banishing the Aluber here, which is usually what I do. Banish both of these. And then we are going to get the Lubellion. For the Lubellion effect, we are going to, let's see, can discard the Ejim Chain. That gives us great value here. And we're going to shuffle back the Banished Albaz and Lubellion to summon Mirror Jade. Now, since we opened Dark Magician, we can do a few interesting things here. So now we can get the Albion to the graveyard. Go for the Lubellion here. We can activate the effect of Lubellion and find ourselves the one branded lost among all the cards, right? We have already normaled. We need to remember that. Okay, branded lost to the field. And of course, we forgot to resolve Ejim Chain. So we're going to activate Ejim Chain as the discard and add ourselves another card to hand. Just add the Fight for Patchwork. Now, in this case, right, I'm going to summon Dragoon here. So I'm going to use Poly, use these two. This doesn't really happen a lot. This will not happen a lot. But if you open that and away to Dragoon, you can just end on a crazy end board like this. Dragoon. Awesome. We get to trigger Lost here. Lost can grab us. Lost can grab us Mercurier. It can also grab us. I'm thinking because I wanna try to end on. We don't have an Albaz in graveyard right now, right? We do have Cartesia though. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna be able to end on both here. So now we're gonna search for the negate. Awesome. And now we finished, doing all the summonings. Nadir Servant. Send here. So we could send Lulu, which summons Quem. Quem sends Albaz, which is good. Or we could do Titanic Lad, which does the same thing. I'm wondering if there's anything in particular. Like we can't really do. I think we're just gonna send the Titanic Lad here, so we can get Lulu summon off of Granguignol. There's no need to waste it at this point. This will add us one Quem to hand for follow-up. And during the end phase, we're going to summon the other Quem. So we're in the end phase. We activated Titanic Lad to summon the Quem. Quem is going to send the Albaz. And then Albion is going to set us branded in red, of which we play 2, which is so much fun. So incredibly fun here. All right, so what do we have here on this end board? We have 3 cards in hand. One of them is a negate. We have another Omni negate. We have branded in red. We have Mirror Jade that can get a banish, and Quem that can summon either Fallen of Albaz as interruption, or it can also summon Cartesia, which we already have in the graveyard as well. So we have graveyard set up, and then what we will do is, if you want more interruption, go for branded in red. You can use, of course, ad libitum and one other monster on the field. Doesn't really matter. We can use the Granguignol here, or we can actually use Quem from the hand if you want, just to draw more cards. Then we can go into Chimera here. Ad libitum can summon us back. The Mirror Jade should go for this in the extra monster zone because we don't really have a lot of available zones here. We get another search off of Branded Lost. We get pop and draw 2. So we're going to draw 2 additional cards from Chimera. Mirror Jade is going to be back live again. Guiding Quem can actually summon the Albaz right now to fuse away with an opponent's monster, or go for Cartesia, which can fuse away with these 2 afterwards, get a Dragosipillia on the board. This is the God board, basically. And you saw that we did a hand. I shuffled the deck in front of you. I showed you what I drew, and this is the hand that makes this. The The reason why you can make things like that is because of cards like, you know, Fright for Patchwork that can get you fusion summoning. We were able to go extra gas and actually get Dragoon on the first turn. Just by hard summoning it, it will not happen a lot. You need to go for this more intentionally most of the time. But in this case, we were able to get these two on the board relatively easy, just, you know, turn one. You also want to end on Quem, which is very important. And yeah, we're just going to shuffle the deck back again, look at another hand, and see what we can do with it. So we just saw what this deck can do, you know, opening just a random hand. And this is, of course, something that we will discuss in our next Branded Academy video. What are the deck's goals and how to get as close as possible to those goals with the cards that you have in your deck. We're just going to do our second hand here, see what we get. Another deployment, Branded Fusion, Lubellion, Allure, and Aluber. Very good hand, obviously, not too shabby at all. Question is, do we want to be a little bit greedy here? We're obviously going to start off with the Lubellion, adding us a copy of Serenir in this case. Even though we play one Magnamut, you always want to get the Serenir first because it can get you the most value in the graveyard. Magnamut can search a card, depends on if you know what the matchup is going to be like. But yeah. Alright, let's go for probably going to go for Allure here just to get a little bit more greedy. You probably shouldn't necessarily do that with this hand right now, but you can also thin out your deck beforehand to see if we already have full combo here, right? But we do want access to Quem, which is something that we don't have with this hand specifically. So I'm going to fire off the Allure of Darkness. I don't really need the Serenir here. Maybe it's a good discard, but we'll see what we can draw. Nadir is very good, and another Lubellion. Then I'm going to banish the Serenir here. So we did get Nadir out of this. This is how we're going to get access to Quem here, which is very good. So always start with deployment. Start with deployment, reveal Granguignol. That way we can protect Aluber from getting Impermed, Veiler, stuff like that. This is how we're going to go crazy. Cartesia. Summon it to the board. Then we're going to go ahead and normal summon Aluber here. We are going to get ourselves a copy of Branded. Now that's a question. We could get Regained here. We could go for max board. We could get, if we get Regained here. The right thing here is to play conservatively and get Lost, right? Branded Lost is going to be the best out of this scenario. But we can get Regained because we're going to be able to get it later. We also have a discard. I think I'm going to get Regained here. It doesn't necessarily play around Ash, but it does provide us with a lot more value. Branded Fusion. We're going to be sending here Albaz, and we're going to send, I think here in this specific case, we're going to be sending Cartesia. We can send Lubellion here. It's going to be the end of our Lubellions in the deck, but that's not a huge problem at this point. So, Albion. I'm going to be banishing Albaz and Aluber, as we usually do. Again, don't be tempted to activate the Cartesia here. We want to get the effect of Lost some value. Lubellion. Chain 1. Cost is going to be Lubellion. 2 different Lubellions. Chain 2, regain target Aluber to bring it back and draw a card. So we're going to put it back to the bottom. And we're going to draw the Dark Magician. I swear I did not plan this. But we'll see what we're going to do with it. I don't think we're going to be using it this turn. Then we're going to put the Albaz to the bottom here. Lubellion. Mirror Jade on top of the Playmat Mirror Jade. Sack this. Lubellion. Lubellion effect. Grab Branded Lost. Now we're going to get Branded Lost here. We just got more value out of it. Like, realistically in a tournament, it's a little bit more frivolous to do that. Don't risk it. We're going to fuse away these two. For Granguignol. going to be Granganule chain 1, Lost chain 2. Lost is going to grab us the negate. And Granganule is going to send us, of course, we have everything already. We're going to put this to the bottom just so he can find it easily. And we're going to get Ad Libitum to the graveyard so we can have a really good setup. Then we're going to go... Oh, sorry, we're not going to go to the end phase yet. Nadir Servant is going to send, again, Titanic Lad in this case. There's no way for me to get... did I normal this turn? I think I normal the Aluber, right? Yeah, I did normal. So I'm going to add, again, I'm just going to add, this will be special summoned. And I'm going to add another... you could add the Albaz here for a branded in red, possibly, or for a Cartesia. Do we have... we missing a Quem here? Let's grab a Quem off of Nadir Servant, and then we're going to summon another Quem during the end phase. So... here it is. Quem. Right, now, 3 cards in hand. End phase, Titanic Lad. Summon this, send Albaz here. So again, we have Albaz, Artesia. Then we are going to set in red with Albion. And we could bring back Artesia to hand here, which I wouldn't personally do because you don't know what's going to get banished and you don't really need it in your hand because you already have the hand advantage. So I would keep it at that, honestly, here. So again, during our opponent's turn, we can go branded in red into so many things. We can summon Dragoon off of branded in red, or like this in a dragon that we get from the graveyard, like an Albaz or something. Then this can summon us, you know, whatever else we want. We can, of course, go for the Ad Libitum line, and then we're going to get to draw cards again with Regained and Chimera. This is how we get the insane hand advantage that this deck has. And yeah, surprisingly consistent at 60 because you play so many copies of the things that you have, right? You're playing basically the same deck as you always played, but with extra copies of everything. This is how you make it consistent, and I think this is what makes the deck really, really brilliant, in my opinion. So I think this is going to be it. 2 test hands, running the combos, running the lines. Let me know, what do you guys think about this deck? Are you playing the 60 card build? And stick around, of course, for the next Branded Academy video and a deck profile for this, where we learn how to, you know, play for the goals over deck and just play the deck the best we can. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.